Want to see how your Catan placement skills compare to those of some national champions? Well, find out next on Chris Can Catan. In this puzzle, you'll place your settlements on the board from the 2023 Irish National Championship. I'll give you 10 seconds to decide where you'd like to go. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the video. I'll be playing along with you, so for each settlement, I'll show you my picks, followed by the real placements from the championship game. At the end, see if you can guess which player won. Here's the starting board. Have fun and good luck. My first pick goes on the 963 spot. This is a great or wheat sheep setup. It has the strongest wheat, and it also has access to 2 ports, including this 3-for-1 port, which is very useful. Much to my surprise, the pro player picks the 810 wood spot. This is a very high-risk, high-reward placement since they only have wood as a starting resource. Where would you pick next? I decide to go with the 8510 spot at the top left of the board. This has very good resource diversity. It's actually the highest producing spot on the board, and we get access to that 3-for-1 port at the top. The pro player decides to go with our original spot, the 963 or wheat sheep, which I think is actually the best location on the board. So I think this is a steal for the second player. Where would you pick next? For my third pick, I picked the 5-4-10 spot with a road pointing down. This is a little controversial. It's not the most high producing spot available, but it does give us wheat, and it also gives us 2 potential ore expansion spots. However, it's a little far away from any ports. The pro player goes with our second pick, the 8510, and has their road pointing down. I think the road pointing down is a little risky here, since I think that 843 to the left of them could get picked and they could get plowed going to the 10-311. All right, where do you go with your fourth pick? For our fourth pick, we go with the 9-11-4 double wheat spot in the middle of the board. This gives us really good access to wheat, the best ore location, and a potential expansion spot for the 10 sheep. The pro player actually picks the same location. However, the key difference is their road is pointing down. This is a very high risk, high reward placement since they could get access to the 11-6-5 11 pip spot or the 5-4-10 10 pip spot. However, it's highly likely one or both of these spots will be taken. If you're enjoying the content of this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I upload daily Catan gameplay videos and sometimes upload educational and strategic videos like this one. Let's take a second to review our picks versus the pros picks. Take a look at both the boards and where we've placed all of our settlements. How are you doing in comparison? Do you agree with our picks or do you agree with the pros picks? Let us know in the comments. You're on the clock for the fourth player's second settlement. Where do you go? We picked the 843 spot and point left to get to one of the 2 ports, specifically the 3-for-1 port. This is probably a little controversial since we don't have any access to sheep. However, we do get a starting road, which I think is pretty important. The pro player picks the 5-10-9 spot and points right to get down to the 3-for-1 port. I really like this spot. If it was available on our board, I also would have selected it. It's time to pick for the third player's second settlement. Where would you go? We decide to pick the 6-11-5 and point our road to the left. This gives us expansion spots at either the 3-6-11 or the 10-3-11. The pro player picks the same location. However, they have their road pointing down. I think they should actually point their road to the left since there is potential to expand to the 10-3-11 or the 11-3-6. It's time for you to pick the second player's second settlement. Where do you go? We decide to go with the 10-8 Woodport. This was a rather difficult pick for us, but I think we were kind of stuck. If we had gone for the 3-4-10 spot right above this, I think the Woodport would have been taken by the first player. By taking the port, we can monopolize all that excess wood that we have. However, we don't have a lot of wheat. We point our road down because there's a very good chance that the first player might select the 843. The pro player decides to go for the 843 spot and has their road pointing down. I rather like this location since they get all 5 resources and have really good expansion options. I think this setup gives the orange player a very strong position. It's time to pick the last settlement on the board. Where do you go? This was a difficult one, but we decided to go with the 1136 double brick spot and have our road pointing to the left. This way we could potentially get some extra ore and some extra sheep. This also allows our first placement to potentially use the brick port. It also gives us a hybrid setup, which will make it a bit easier for us to expand. The pro player decides to pick the 1029. This is a really interesting spot and not at all what I was expecting. I would have expected them to have taken the 31011 or the 3611 more in the middle of the board so that they could get wheat and expand. However, I do understand the appeal of the spot since it gets them strong ore and the potential to expand to the 6 wheat. Now that you've seen all the placements on the pros board, who do you think won the Catan Irish National Championships? If you guessed player 2, the orange player, you were right. They were able to win with the longest road and a heavy production. It was a close battle between them and the first player, who finished with 8 points in the largest army. Now that you know who won, how do you think our board held up to the pros picks? Do you think we did better or worse? Let us know in the comments and vote in the poll. How did your boards do? Did you do better or worse than us or the pros? We want to know that as well, so please let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.